Hey, Dan, Coach Camilo here with NorCal Sports Network with a video on the San Francisco Giants and what's their next move, if any. Before we get started, let us thank our sponsor, Chapman Law Group. Check them out in the description of this video for any legal matters. All right, everybody, if you would, just give this a like and subscribe, as it does help the channel grow, and we really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. San Francisco Giants, what is their next move? We're seeing free agents come off the board every day, it seems like. There's another one that's been signed. First base was a need. It appears that the Giants have a need. Buster Posey talked about first base. Now Paul Goldschmidt is a New York Yankee signing on a one-year deal, just over $12 million a year. I think it was $12.5 million 1 year. And the day before that, it was Christian Walker agreeing to a 3-year, $60 million deal with the Houston Astros. So what does that leave for the Giants when you look at first base? Well, there's still Carlos Santana out there from the Minnesota Twins. If we look at that, there's Justin Turner, Donovan Solano. I don't think any of those guys really move the needle. Rowdy Tellez, Yuli Gurriel, he's 41. Josh Bell's a possibility, he's 32. I think Santana, for me, fits the best for a short stopgap, if you're going to put somebody at first base. Again, he doesn't strike out as much as some of the other first basemen. Goldschmidt, although an excellent player, does strike out a lot, and he's 37 and not likely to change his swing. So you add that to the rest of the lineup that strikes out a ton. I think Carlos Santana could be a good fit. He's got a K rate of just over about 16%, whereas all these other guys striking out a ton. Plus, Santana is a left-handed bat, gives you something the Giants actually need. They don't have a left-handed bat in that lineup much. They very right-handed dominant. They have Yaz and I guess you could say Wade, and then you have Jung-Hoo Lee, but only Wade, and he doesn't have a lot of power, and Yaz have power from the left side. So I think Carlos Santana would be a good fit. He's actually a switch hitter, so he doesn't have to be platooned. He could play bat both from the left side and the right. I actually haven't even looked at his splits. What I will do, I should take a look at his splits and just real quick see how he is from the left side versus the right side. Let me see if I can get to that. It might take a while. He's got a very long history. He's been in the game a long time. Okay, his batting splits. Let's check his splits for last year. Last year, Carlos Santana versus right-handed pitching was only 298 or 219 and 286 versus left-handed pitching. So he hits better from the right side. He hit 11 home runs from the left side last year and 12 from the right. He did have more RBIs, 42 off right-handed pitching, but didn't hit well for batting average there. Let me just take a quick peek at his career splits on that. I'm curious to see if Santana, if that pans out for his whole career, off righty versus left. Okay, it pretty much does. Yeah, his career, 5,083 at bats off of right-handed pitching. He's hitting 226 and 2,317 at bats against left-handed pitching. He's hitting 276. So he's definitely a better right-handed hitter when it comes to batting average. for power, he's got most of his home runs, 234 homers off righties, 90 off lefties. Well, you might say, it seems like he's a better hitter from the left side, more power. Well, he's facing a lot more right-handed pitching. You got to realize that right-handed pitching dominates Major League Baseball, actually dominates all of baseball. It's really about at least 2-1, probably 70%, maybe closer to 75% of the pitchers are right-handed. So if you look at this, Carlos Santana could be an option. Other possibilities, I think second base, there's nobody there that's special that to me is any better than what the Giants' options are in Tyler Fitzgerald and Casey Schmidt. Shortstop's filled with Adames. If you look at the outfield, do they go to look for the outfield for a free agent? I don't think there's anything. Maybe Anthony Santander, Teoscar Hernandez possibilities. I kind of like the idea of going after Luis Robert Jr., trading the White Sox. Look, he's got a couple of option years that the club holds for 26 and 27. So you can get Roberts and he's still signed. He had a phenomenal year in 2023. Last year, not so great. And the other problem with Luis Robert is injuries. He cannot seem to stay on the field very long, and that is a problem. But I think at this point, the Giants have to take some risk of actually going out there and looking for a star-type player. They don't have that star-type player. I mean, if you look at Roberts, he played 145 games in 23. But prior to that, he was only played 100 one other time, and that was last year. He played in exactly 100 games. And in 21, he played in 68 games. In 22, he played in 98 games. So he is an injury problem. But the one thing that Luis Robert has on his side is age. I believe he is only 27, I believe. Let me check that out. I just lost that. Let me pull this up real quick. Luis Robert is, well, let me pull that back up. Sorry, guys. Just hit the wrong. He's 27. He'll be 28 in August 3rd of the 25 season. So still very young, right in the smack of his prime. And I would take a shot on him. And what that could do is move Jung-Hoo Lee over to right field, and it gives you kind of two center fielders in that ballpark, which you need because it's such a deep ballpark. You need a right fielder with a ton of range. And I think moving Jung-Hoo Lee over, you can move Yaz off in a trade. So I would go after Luis Robert Jr. I think the White Sox, look, they're going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So I think the Giants need to go get a star. And it's tough to sign a star in free agency to come to this park. You would have him for 3 years. He's affordable. Go make a deal with the Chicago White Sox. They're looking to rebuild. They traded Garrett Crochet for 4 prospects. You could give up some prospects. You could give up some guys that are on the roster, the 40-man roster. And look, if I've said this before, Casey Schmidt, to me, they should play him with the Giants. I think he should be an everyday starter. Let him prove himself, give him an opportunity. But if you're not going to give him an opportunity to play with the Giants, then maybe you put him in a package for Luis Robert, along with a Carson Whisenhunt and maybe a Grant McCray. And the White Sox get 3 young players that are ready to play and contribute right now. And we'll see what happens. But I like the idea of Luis Robert. Again, I'm not a fan of trading Casey Schmidt. I wish the Giants would start him, play him at second base, and put Tyler Fitzgerald, let him move around the field and become a super utility player. I think that gets better defense on the field in Schmidt. And I think that's the best plan for the Giants. and Fitzgerald can move all around the diamond. That makes your team a deeper team because you're playing a great defensive player at second base who has pop in Casey Schmidt, and Fitzgerald can move around the diamond. So if you could find a way to keep Casey Schmidt and play him with the Giants, I'm all for it. I think Luis Robert would be an excellent fit. And of course, Corbin Burns is the ideal fit for adding to the pitching staff. Do the Giants do that? Reports are it's 50-50 out there. According to Susan Slusser, it's a 50-50 proposition that they get Burns. The longer it waits, I don't know what the holdup is. Is more teams getting involved? Are the Giants out on Corbin Burns? Heck, by the time this video gets put out and everything is on, we could have a Corbin Burns signing with the Giants right afterwards. Who really knows what's going to happen? But the Giants, if they don't get pitching, they are not competing for a wild card. Forget it. Right now, I would say their pitching is at the bottom third of baseball as it is. Logan Webb, he is at the top of the rotation, and he is, excellent. You can't deny what Webb means to the team. He would be any team's number one starter or two starter at the worst on any team in baseball. So you got Logan Webb. But what do you have that's reliable and proven after Logan Webb? Well, Robbie Ray's been great, but he's come off surgery, and then he got hurt again last year. So we don't know. He's a question mark. Kyle Harrison, unbelievable potential upside. 2 years ago was ranked the number one left-handed pitcher in all of minor league baseball. Tons of potential there, but hasn't proven himself. I believe in Harrison. I think he can get there. You got Hayden Birdsong, a lot of potential, but unproven. So that's 4 starters. Webb, Ray, Harrison, and Birdsong. Who's your 5th starter? Jordan Hicks, unproven as a starting pitcher. Couldn't go through the whole season, hasn't pitched a lot. Okay, who do you have after that? Landon Roop, unproven. You've got Tristan Beck, unproven, coming off injury. Keaton Wynn, unproven, a lot of injury history. You see, the Giants are a mess without adding starting pitching. And if they get Burns, I still think they would be better off going out and getting another starting pitcher, such as a Walker Buehler or, Jack Flaherty probably costs too much if you got Burns, but there's other starting pitchers that you could look at out there on the market. They've been getting taken, but there's guys out there that you could probably sign to a 1-year deal, like maybe a Zach Davies, or I'm just looking at guys that can actually eat up some innings. I like Walker Buehler for a 1-year deal. Of course, if you get Sasaki, the ideal situation for the San Francisco Giants is go get Corbin Burns, sign him. By a miracle, you end up with Roki Sasaki, and you make a trade for a Luis Robert Jr., and you get yourself maybe another first baseman like a Carlos Santana to fill and give you a little bit of a left-handed bat with some power. Maybe you end up keeping Lamont Wade there, but they've got to get pitching. That has to be the next Giants' big move. And I would like to see him make a trade for a potential star. Yes, lots of risk come with Luis Robert Jr. I get it, but a huge upside. And I think the Giants can put together enough package of guys that probably are blocked and not going to be playing with the Giants anytime soon as far as a regular spot in the lineup. So use those assets. Go get a guy like Luis Robert Jr. All right, guys, tell me what you think in this video. Let me know your comments. Do you like the idea of Luis Robert? You think that's crazy? too injury prone for you, not consistent enough? What do you think about the pitching? Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Please give it a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video. All right, take care, everybody.